Going to be making today is a simple alternative to slime or Play-Doh. It's a good mixture of both, but way cheaper than either of those to make, and it doesn't leave residue and doesn't leave marks on any of the things that you're using. What we're going to be making today is some moon dough. As you can see, it's pliable, it's easy to pull apart, easy to put together, and it actually only has two simple ingredients that both cost less than $1. So pretty good project and activity for you to do at home. So the two items that are in it is there's conditioner. So I picked up a really cheap conditioner. It's the VO5. I just picked really good smells because that's what your moon dough is going to smell like. So I picked two really good smells. And then what you need is cornstarch. So if some of you are unaware of what cornstarch is, if you might see it in gloves, it's going to be an anti-adhesive. But what it has too is, what it is a thickener. But when you mix it with certain non-Newtonian fluids, what's going to happen is it's not going to go to a solid, it's not going to go to a liquid, but it's going to stay in between. So that's what happens right here, is it doesn't fully go to a hard solid, but it wants to go in between. So that's why you get this substance that's going to be pretty soft to use. So as we go through this, it's going to have these two ingredients. It's really simple. For you, the sixth graders that have learned about ratios, cooking and stuff is all about ratios if you don't want to follow a recipe. This ratio is really simple. It is 2 parts cornstarch to 1 part conditioner. It's really simple. If you take any size measuring cup, as long as you use 2 of these and 1 of these, or you use 4 of these and 2 of these, as long as the ratio is 2 to 1. So every 2 scoops you do of this, do 1 of that. So you can make this batch as big as you want. And that's the good thing about cooking. If you don't want to follow a recipe, then you can easily just learn ratios to change it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is do 2 parts of the cornstarch. So I'm just going to take, I have a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to do 2 1/4 cups, which would be a 1/2 cup. All right, and then I'm just going to take some of the conditioner, mix it in. Now remember, it's 2 parts cornstarch to 1 part conditioner. So I'm just going to do 1/4, which that means 1/4 is half of a half. And then you just put it inside the bowl, and it's really easy. You just stir it with a spatula. Now it might make a mess when you start off, and what I noticed the first couple times that I made this is that you might have a little bit more conditioner, or you might have a little bit more cornstarch. So just like baking, you can modify it as you go. Sometimes it works out. It might be the temperature of the items that you're using. But it will change throughout. So I'm going to kind of mix this one up. Right? And it depends how pliable you want it as well. I'm just going to take it with my hands. Now mine looks like it needs a little bit more cornstarch because it's sticking to my hands. And remember, it's that anti-adhesive. So I'm going to mix this up. And I'm just doing a small batch just because it's me, but if you have your whole family, you can make a little bit larger batch. All right. So what mine looks like is it looks like this. I can easily play with it some more to mix it up. And then what you can do at the very end, if you want to add food coloring, you can. If you don't want to add food coloring, you don't have to. The only thing about food coloring is some people said that it goes off into their hands, so just be careful of that. I just used a little teeny tiny drop, and it worked perfectly fine. It didn't create a really dark blue color, but it worked perfectly fine. So I made this right here, my moon dough. It's easily to use. Now, if you want to store it, the easiest way to make it last longer is if you put it inside of a Ziploc bag and put it inside the fridge. It lasts a little bit longer, but people say that it lasts anywhere from about 2 days to a week. depending on how airtight that you keep your bag. If you have any questions, just email me. Other than that, have fun.